Welcome to NASCAR America Overtime with Parker Kligerman, AJ Allmendinger. Okay, don't want to confuse you guys. I know I just said NASCAR America, but we're used to being in the Motorsports Hour on Thursdays where we can talk all forms of racing. So let's talk a little IndyCar.
Are we talking IndyCar?
I think so.
I'm
you
down
want to
for
talk
that.
IndyCar?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's see. I tell you what. Let's go ahead and show you the standings. Oh, good. It's IndyCar.
Oh, there. No, perfect.
I just wanted to wait and see who popped up.
Thankfully, it's not a different series.
Okay, so Josef Newgarden has sort of been, I mean, really, I guess you could say on fire. I mean, I know Simon Pagenaud won the Indy 500, but Josef Newgarden's been doing a lot of good things in the last couple of weeks.
He has. He has been impressive, but I think, you know, this is a tight championship battle. Alexander Rossi has shown a lot of speed here and there, and I think the key here is that we want to do kind of like a mid-season review, right?
Okay.
That's what we're doing here?
I have no idea.
We're doing the mid-season review.
Lead us, Parker.
So I'm just going to take this over for a second. This is where we go to the best pound-for-pound guy in the series.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that I had conflicting thoughts here because I wanted to go Alexander Rossi for being kind of the guy that's maybe taking a car that's not quite as fast as some of the other cars out there and doing very impressive things, but a guy that's executing in so many levels and the team is executing would be Josef Newgarden, so I'd have to say him.
That's who you're going with?
Yeah.
I'm very confused on.
I went Josef Newgarden. Josef Newgarden.
All right. Well, I'm definitely taking Josef Newgarden because he has 3 victories. He's been solid. He had one hiccup, Detroit. Got in there too deep. Alexander Rossi helped him out as well to do that, but had one mistake. Other than that, the team has really performed solid. There's races they've had a lot of speed, and they've made sure that they've capitalized on it and won the race. There's other races where Tim Cindric calls a great race, and Texas, for instance, and he gets out and goes out there and wins the race. So as a whole, that team and Josef Newgarden, they're the points leader. They have the most wins. He's the top guy right now.
Okay, what about the Dominator? I guess the most impressive drive you've seen.
I know this one.
Okay.
Yes, easy. This is the guy I almost picked in the pound for pound. It's Alexander Rossi at Long Beach. That was an incredible drive. I mean, how fast he was through the final corner. You can tell me what the corner number is. I can't remember, but the final little hairpin. He would gap guys by 3 or 4 tenths in that one corner alone. It was incredible what he did there throughout that entire day. And it's one of those remarkable days as a race car driver where you've got basically 2 tenths on the field. No matter what you do, you've got 2 tenths, and they had that, and that was impressive.
Which I don't really want to take away from that, but it's exactly what he did last year as well.
Yes.
So that was something that wasn't really a shock to me. Takuma Sato dominating at Barber was a race that nobody really expected. Ray Hall, Lanigan, Letterman Racing, they had cars that were really quick in general, but what he went out there and did, it just, like, they never really showed him through the telecast because he was so far out in the lead, and it was kind of just unexpected. So Takuma, because we've already seen what Alexander can do at Long Beach.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yes. And we got to see David Letterman hang out and enjoy
Yeah, it's always good.
Sweet beard game.
Santa Claus showed up.
All right, hey, look at that. No, that's the next category.
Oh,
Did you like that? The hey, look at that. Notable surprise efforts. I'm going to start with AJ because you've got
Go ahead.
first
You go
place.
first.
Hey, look at that.
Colton Herta at Austin. He was so strong. We saw it in testing. He had the outright speed. It's like, okay, when it's time to go out there and do it on a race weekend, can not only him but that team stand up to the big race teams? He went to Austin, showed it first practice, second practice, qualified up front. Granted, he got a little bit of help at the end because he was going to be a third-place car, but he was a dominant podium car. There were 3 cars, Will Power, Alexander Rossi, and Colton Herta. They were going to finish in the top 3. Got a little lucky with strategy on Will and Alexander not pitting at the right time, the yellow coming out. But Colton, on that restart, had Josef Newgarden behind him, thought, okay, is this rookie going to make a mistake? Didn't happen. Mega first lap, never looked behind him and won the race.
Do you agree?
No. I'm going to say, hey, look at that. Driver for me would be Jack Harvey with that impressive performance at the Indy GP race. He also had a couple top 10s leading up to that for a part-time team at Meyershank, who has the affiliation with Aero Schmidt-Peterson. I just think that was some really impressive runs he needed, but the one at Indy GP in the wet, in qualifying, he out-qualified his teammates by a large margin at Aero Schmidt-Peterson. He was just in a league of his own with that car above his teammates, so I think that was a very impressive run. And a run, if things went a little different, he had a chance maybe to win there at some point. So, and he did a great job in the rain. So that was a very impressive run for me. That's my hey, look at that.
So for me, Colton Herta actually kind of fits in this next category also, kind of the hard luck award. I mean, since that win, it seems like that's what he's had. Who's your hard luck award winner? A driver that couldn't shake trouble.
You get to go first again.
Yeah, I'm going 2 and 2.
He still won, so
I
he
know.
still has that win. There's a lot of drivers that would take that. A close friend of mine, James Hinchcliffe, just can't buy a break, and whether it's just their own mistakes or just bad luck, everything that they've done. They had a decent run at St. Pete. I think they finished 6th, and from there it just went downhill. And Texas was my heart broke for him because he was driving the wheels off it, had a chance to win the race, trying to make a bold move, had to do it late in the race, got wide and crashed, and it's just Hinch, I love you, man. I'm sorry your season's going so bad.
I love that one, but the one I'm going to give the hard luck award to is willpower, because I think at one point he said, can anything go right? I mean, just between the things that happened in Detroit, it's just nothing has gone right this season for him. He's fallen back in the points. It looks like it's going to take a lot to be a part of this championship discussion. This has not been his season, and a lot of it you just say, like, how did that happen? Why did that happen? So he is definitely gets the hard luck award in my opinion.
I feel like you guys still have a lot more to say. Maybe the how did that happen could be in our next preview, because that's part 1 of our IndyCar midseason review. Stay tuned for part 2 coming soon. And remember to watch NASCAR America weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's where you'll find these guys on NBCSN.
Hey, Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.